This is my room, but why are there fish everywhere? My room smells like fish. Well, I know that, but why are there fish here in the first place? Dear Tim and Moby, can you show me how to identify the subject and predicate parts of a sentence? From Mark. Every sentence has a subject and predicate that together form a complete thought. Take the sentence, my room smells like fish. The subject is the part of the sentence that tells us who or what the sentence is about. This sentence is about my room, the room belonging to me, so that's our subject. The predicate is the part of the sentence that tells you something about the subject, what the subject is, what it's like, what it does, what it has, whatever. In this sentence, we're saying that my room smells like fish, so smells like fish is our predicate. Well, the simple subject and simple predicate are found within the subject and predicate, respectively. The simple subject is usually just a noun or a pronoun. In this case, it's room. Not my room, just room. The simple predicate is the verb. In this sentence, our verb is smells. Let's try another sentence. Moby fishes in the neighbor's pond. Our subject is Moby. Our predicate is fishes in the neighbor's pond because that's what our subject, Moby, is doing. Our simple subject is Moby, same as our subject. And our simple predicate is the verb fishes. I guess the real question is, why are you fishing in the neighbor's pond? And why are you putting the fish in my room?
What I'd like to do is I'd like to go over a few more examples with you regarding the subject of a sentence and the predicate of a sentence. The first thing that we'll be doing is we'll be underlining the subject of the sentence once. Then we'll underline the predicate twice. And lastly, notice the transitional word, we will be circling the simple predicate. Now remember, simple predicate is just a fancy pants term for a verb or an action word. Always keep in mind that if you're in mixed company and you want to show off what you know, you can always use the terms simple predicate instead of the more commonly known word verb. This will make you feel important, and it will make others feel ignorant. Here goes. Ms. Guarino enjoys grammar lessons. Ms. Guarino, in this case, is the subject. The rest of the sentence, enjoys grammar lessons, makes up the predicate, so we'll underline that twice. Now, all we have to do is circle the simple predicate, also known as the verb or action word. And there we have it. Enjoys is the action word. Now let's go on to our next example. My room smells like fish. In fact, my classroom smells like vanilla and cinnamon. My room does not smell like fish, but let's go with it. In this case, my room is the subject. Smells like fish is the predicate, so we'll underline it twice. The simple predicate is, of course, the verb, and that is the word smells, so we'll circle smells. In the next example, it does. It is the subject. Does is the predicate. Does is also the simple predicate or verb, so we'll circle does. Now take a moment to finish the rest of the examples on the screen. I hope you enjoy this. Now Let's take a brief quiz. What would happen if a sentence were missing a predicate? Take a moment and jot down your answer. Please write the complete response. A, it would not form a complete thought. B, it would be a run-on sentence. C, the noun and the verb would not agree. D, it would not be English. It would not form a complete thought. Yay! 2. What is the function of a subject in a sentence? Again, write down your answer. A, it describes the meanings of the different words. B, it explains the action. C, it tells you who or what the sentence is about. D, it modifies the nouns. C, it tells you who or what the sentence is about. Number 3. What is the subject of the sentence, "My Uncle Bob went fishing last Saturday"? A, fishing. B, Uncle Bob. C, Saturday. Or D, last. Of course, in this case, the subject is Uncle Bob. What is true of all predicates? This is number 4. A, they all contain verbs. B, they all contain nouns. C, they all contain adjectives. D, they all contain adverbs. Write down your answer. A, they all contain verbs. Number 5, what is the complete predicate of the sentence, "John found a red delicious apple on the ground"? Now remember, this isn't the simple predicate, this is the complete predicate of the sentence. Write your answer. A, John. B, found. C, found an apple. D, found a red delicious apple on the ground. The answer is D, found a red delicious apple on the ground. Number 6, what is the simple predicate of the sentence, "John found a red delicious apple on the ground"? Now remember, we're not looking for the complete predicate, we're merely looking for the simple predicate. Is it A, John, B, found, C, found an apple, or D, found a red delicious apple on the ground? As you know, the simple predicate is merely a fancy way of saying verb. So we're merely looking for the verb here, the action word, found.
subject of a sentence tells who or what it's about. The subject is the place where you will find the noun. If you combine the subject with the predicate, you'll get a sentence that's complete. The predicate tells something about the subject. The predicate is the place where you'll find the verb. If you combine the subject with the predicate, you'll get a sentence that's complete. That's complete. If you combine the subject with the predicate, you'll get a sentence that's complete. That's complete. That's complete. That's complete. That's complete. That's complete.
Course sentence is composed of two parts. First part is your subject. Second part is your verb. Take a look at examples. Okay, so the first, another sentence by Ernest Hemingway, and the sentence that we decided to tackle is the street light shone on the brass numbers. Okay, now you may be asking, what if I encounter one of a really long sentence with lots of commas and phrases here? So that would be a point in which it would be important to locate the core sentence. What's the basic sentence? So let's take a look at this long-ish sentence by Christopher Paolini from his wonderful novel Aragon. Returning with 2 strips of meat for the small dragon, Aragon found the dragon sitting on the windowsill watching the moon. Okay, so you have to ask yourself again, what's the subject? What's the topic of the sentence? Is it 2 strips of meat? Is it is it the moon? You have a number of nouns here, and actually what we can do is to isolate these phrases over here. Your sentence begins with a first phrase, phrases will be discussed later on, and an ending phrase, beginning phrase, ending phrase, and we might be able to find the subject somewhere here in the middle. So let's take a look at it. Aragon found the dragon sitting on the windowsill. What's the sentence about? What's the focus of the sentence? It's Aragon. Okay? Subject sentence. Once you find the subject, you divide it into 2, put the slash here, look for the verb. Okay? Where's the verb? Is it a linking verb? No. It's actually a verb here, found, which is the past tense of find. Okay? Subject, verb. So there you have it. In the middle, I'm going to put square brackets here, is your core sentence. And these phrases embellish the core sentence. And the reason why it's so important to find what the core sentence is because we start with this core sentence, and then later on we embellish with these phrases or clauses as we see fit. Okay, let's take a look at another sentence by J.K. Rowling of the Harry Potter fame, and she talks about Dudley. To those of you who've read the book, you know who he is, and this is a quite apt description of him. Dudley, comma, who was so large his bottom drooped over either side of the kitchen chair, grinned and turned to Harry. Okay, so you may be asking yourself again, commas all over the place. This is actually a phrase in the middle of the sentence compared to the last sentence where we had the phrases at the beginning and the ending of the sentence. And here, switching back, your phrase is right in the middle. Okay, so again, ask yourself, what's the subject? What's the topic? Subject is Dudley. Okay, subject right here. You want to put a slash here to say that this is the first part of a sentence. And where is your verb? Grinned. Okay. So, in other words, if you remove this phrase, this sentence will survive. Dudley grinned and turned to Harry. But of course, J.K. Rowling embellishes it with a
Good afternoon, Billy. I'm so pleased you could make it for extra help today. Are you feeling any better?
Oh yes, miss whatever your name is. Other than a little headache, I'm really much better. I'm also still a little bit tired. I've been running around a lot today. Please tell me what work I missed.
Before we start, you have a little something on your shirt, Billy. You might want to get some cold water on that soon.
Do you have a tissue, miss?
I am sorry. I do not keep tissues in my room, Billy. You may take the bathroom pass when we are done.
Okay, Miss English class lady.
As you know, you should have called your student contact buddy. That being said, I will be happy to help you.
Well, my student contact buddy was volunteering at the hospital last night, and I usually go to sleep before 10 o'clock on school nights. By the time he got home, I was sound asleep. I had a very long day yesterday. So much running around. First there was Mr. Birdsong, my neighbor, then his gardener, then the cat.
Well, Billy, I am so glad to hear you have such nice friends. I'm sure they will tell you that we went over subjects and predicates. Do you know anything about this topic?
I remember that the subject of a sentence is the person, place, thing, or idea that is doing or being something.
You are exactly right, Billy. You know a lot more than it seems.
Woohoo. Yippee yippee yay.
What else do you recall, Billy?
I think I remember that the predicate of a sentence is the word or group of words that tells what the subject is doing or being.
Oh, Billy. You're always so quiet in class. You should speak up more.
I can even give an example. Miss whatever. Here goes. Billy, that's me, ran through the yard carrying Mr. Birdsong's head. In this case, Billy is the subject. Ran through the yard carrying Mr. Birdsong's head is the predicate.
Can you give another example?
I do not think so. Miss what's your name? I'm getting hungry, and when I am hungry, I get grumpy.
Oh, Billy. That is nonsense. Give it another try.
If you say so, but I warned you, Miss whoever. Here's one. During the summer, Billy likes to vacation upstate, near a teen camp in the woods. In this case, the core sentence is Billy likes to vacation upstate. Billy is the subject. Likes to vacation upstate is the complete predicate.
I am truly amazed. You have been reviewing your notes every night, like I have told you to do since class began.
Will I get extra credit?
Okay, Billy. You drive a hard bargain.
The term simple predicate is just a fancy way to say verb.
Wow.
Yay.
Well, it is probably time for you to run along and play with your friends, Billy.
Yes, Miss English teacher lady. I should leave now. Do you know where the nearest exit is?
Make a right just out the door and you will see an emergency exit. Be sure to study for that quiz tomorrow, Billy. I know you will do your very best.
I will, miss. Goodbye for now.
Goodbye, Billy. Have fun with your friends. Remind them to study.
Just a little bit more complicated, and we'll take these one at a time, not to worry. We're going to try to identify the core sentence, and then we will underline the subject as we have before. We will underline the predicate twice, and then we'll circle the simple predicate, aka the verb. We'll start simply. Again, Ms. Guarino appreciates grammar. Ms. Guarino is the subject. Appreciates grammar is the complete predicate, so we'll put 2 lines under that. Ooh, let's see if we can get 2 lines. There we go. And appreciates is the verb, therefore it is the simple predicate, the action word. So let's get used to finding that simple predicate as well. In the next sentence, Boo Bradley, one of my favorite characters in literature, was a hero. In this case, Boo Bradley is the subject of the sentence, the focus of the sentence. So we'll place one line beneath Boo Bradley as the subject. Now, one of my favorite characters in literature is not really part of that Boo Bradley sentence. We're actually looking for the verb that belongs to the acting subject, Boo Bradley. And in this case, the verb is was. Boo Bradley was a hero. Was a hero is, in fact, the predicate of this core sentence. Boo Bradley was a hero. In this case, was is the simple predicate. It is the verb. Was a hero. Now try to find the core sentence in each of the following sentences. Then underline the subject, underline the predicate twice, and circle the simple predicate, also known as the verb. Good luck!
This PowerPoint presentation will discuss how to determine the complete subject and simple subject of sentences. All sentences must have two parts, a subject and a predicate. A subject is who or what is being talked about, and the subject is therefore the topic of the sentence. The predicate is what is being said about the subject, such as what the subject is doing, what is being done to the subject, or simply what the subject is. Since the subject is who or what is being talked about, subjects are naturally nouns or pronouns. The complete subject is the noun or pronoun with all of its modifiers. Take a look at this sentence. The important legal files were faxed this afternoon. As mentioned, the subject is what the sentence is about. In this case, the sentence is about the files. In this particular instance, files has three modifying adjectives: the, important, and legal. These modifiers join with the subject to form the complete subject. As a tip, I find it's often easiest to find the verb first, which in this case is were faxed, and then find the subject of that particular verb. Identifying the simple subject is exceptionally important for determining the correct subject-verb agreement. In other words, the simple subject controls the form of the verb. The simple subject is only one word, and it is what is left after all of the other modifiers are stripped away from the complete subject. In the above example, the single word that is left is the word files. This is the simple subject. Be cautious when you find a complete subject that has what looks like two nouns. In this example, the word store is often thought of as a noun, but the context here shows that the word store is being used as an adjective to modify the noun clerk. The simple subject will be a single word without any modifiers. In this case, clerk is the simple subject. Care should also be taken to remove prepositions in order to find the correct subject. Although the normal order of a sentence is to have the subject appear before the predicate, there are times when you will run across a sentence in what's called inverted order. When you find sentences with the predicate appearing before the subject, it is important to convert the sentence back to normal order to make a determination of proper subject and verb agreement. Here's an example. Anytime you have a sentence that begins with the words there or here, such as the sentence shown here, there were 8 children on the bus, you have an inverted order sentence. If this sentence is converted to normal order, it is easier to determine that the correct verb is indeed selected for the subject of children. So you can see here we have 8 children, and we have the predicate were on the bus. Commands are a type of sentence in which the subject is not usually spoken or written, but it is implied. The subject of commands is typically you. As you can see in these examples, although you is not specifically spoken, it is still the subject. So normally we would say, shut the door. And in this case, the subject is you, even though it's not being spoken. And the same for leave the book on the table. The subject is implied, and the subject is you.
So we see that every complete sentence has a subject and a predicate. Let's look at one more example. John kicked the dog. The subject is who or what the sentence is about, and the predicate tells you what the subject is doing. So John is the subject, and kicked the dog is the predicate.